Have you thought about how you're going to talk to your children about race and racism? As a Black mother with a Black son, I have thought about this a lot, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. So today I want to talk to you guys about how I plan on talking about race and racism with my child. First things first, talking about race and racism is not something that needs to wait until they are in high school and graduated off to college. Talking about race is an ongoing conversation, and you should start as early as possible. It's really important that as parents, we don't shy away from the truth, because that does absolutely nothing for our kids but cause more confusion and ignorance. A common thing I hear parents say when it comes to talking about racism is, I feel like that conversation is a little too dense for my child. I feel like they are not ready to understand things like that. And although I completely understand where you're coming from, it's false. Children have such a capacity to understand things. What we have to do as parents is know how to break things down in an age-appropriate way for that child based on their own comprehension skill levels. It's so important for parents to talk about race, not just Black parents and other parents of color, but especially white parents who have white children. It's imperative that we discontinue this rhetoric of being colorblind. That doesn't exist. That is not a thing, and that is hurting our community so heavily. It's okay that people are different. It's okay that we all have different skin complexions. It's okay that we all come from different backgrounds and cultures. Teach your children that. That way they are not culturally shocked. That way they are not giving off their ignorance in the classrooms and not treating other people differently because they are so confused that people have different cultures than them. As your child gets older and gains more understanding of complex ideas, as should your conversations change with them. We as parents have such a huge responsibility, because what they learn in the home first is what's going to be their first recognition of things that happen on the outside world. So we have to make sure we're doing our due diligence to make sure that they're learning adequately. So here's a few do's and don'ts. Don't lie to your children. Lying isn't doing anything to help them. Don't sugarcoat the truth. I understand racism is a very hard and difficult conversation, but race has real implications and real consequences, especially when you are not being honest about how race impacts other people. So don't sugarcoat to your children. Do not wait to have these conversations. Your children are a lot smarter than you give them credit. They can understand what you make palatable to them. So take your time and figure out a way to talk to your children in a way that they can understand. Do continually have this conversation. Race is never ending, and at this point, neither is racism. So neither should the conversation. Do evolve your conversation around race and racism. You should not be having the same elementary conversation with your 18-year-old. It's important to evolve with your child and their level of comprehension. Do relax. Yes, race and racism is kind of an awkward conversation, but you approaching the conversation in a calm manner can actually make your child feel a lot more welcomed in this conversation and comfortable with asking you questions in the future. Do ask for help. If you're someone who is not really affected by racism, then sometimes you need to outsource and look to someone who's more marginalized than you to gain more insight, to gain an understanding and empathy for that group of people. Do your research. Don't just go in it blindly and give blank answers. Seek out people of color around you so that they can give you real life answers for real life situations. Do explain how race affects different people. It's all cute and dandy when we can explain what different races are and how we all look differently. It's another conversation to actually talk about the implications and the real life consequences of being different racial markers. I hope this video helped you out there, and if it did, please be sure to share. If you have any comments or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to chat more about this conversation. With all that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.